Hello to the Vegan as Fuck podcast, sponsored by Rise Kombucha.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of the Vegan as Fuck podcast. We have a very special guest with us today, Nafsika Antypas, who is the owner and founder of Nafsika's Garden, as well as the host and producer of the very first vegan lifestyle series called Plant-Based by Nafsika. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Donny.
So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm honored to be here.
I'm almost a little starstruck because, you've produced a show, you've hosted a show. So I guess before we get into that, you can tell us a little bit more about your vegan journey. So for the people who don't know your story a little bit, kind of when you founded, veganism and how you got into it.
Yeah, how this whole thing came up. It's quite simple. I was actually... and I say this story a lot. Yeah. I was home at night nursing my son, okay? He was a baby. And then I was flipping through, browsing through Netflix to see what, shows were on. And I came across something called Vegucated. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't yet.
It's a documentary. It's a vegan documentary. And it just kind of struck me. I was just like, oh my God, like what's going on? Like I've been contributing to this.
Right.
So all I needed to see really was a baby calf being pulled by its leg away from its mom. And that was it for me. I was like, no, I'm not contributing to this. So that very night I went vegan. Wow. And that was like 2013, I think.
Okay. So almost 8 years ago.
Was it 2004? It might have been January 2014. Okay. So, because my son was born already. Okay. So, I started that night in researching online recipes and, everything about protein, B12, all that stuff that everyone's all worried about all the time. So I did all that. And then I had the plan out for my kids, what they're going to be eating every day. And that was great. I went vegan overnight. I can't really say amazing. That. Yeah, I mean, not everyone can do it. It's you have to have,
especially overnight.
Overnight, yeah, you have to have your will and determination. Yeah. But it basically, it really motivated me to do something. I've always wanted to, do something for the world and like contribute to the world and have make some kind of impact.
Yes.
So I actually had started with my charity, People Against Violence, a few years ago. So it's still going on. It's a helpline 24/7. You call and it's victim crisis line. Wow. So you can call and someone will answer. So that's been going on for many years. So I started that a long time ago. And so I wanted to do something to help people go vegan. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a show. Wow. And because with my family business and being in the food business, we import olive oil and olives and everything. I was always behind the scenes with, helping out in other people's shows, like on CTV, Food and Fashion. Like I was always behind the scenes helping out, like, coordinating everything. So I'm like, you know what? I can do this.
You had experience in that
I had
industry.
a little bit of experience. Yeah. Plus in college, I did TV productions and journalism and everything. Okay, so, nice. I felt like, I can do this. So I basically went online, started looking for producers and everything, found one on an agency, TV productions agency in New York. Okay. And we clicked, we discussed the idea, we pitched it to different networks, and we decided to go with A&E. So I started filming 2016. 2015 is when I started to do to start thinking about the project, the TV product. By 6 months later, I was airing across the U.S., 70 million households.
Amazing.
The world's first vegan lifestyle series on mainstream television,
That's beautiful.
So it was for me, it was like, that was good. I did something already, Right. But while I was on the show and I had different guests come over and, obviously I was trying to, encourage vegan products, vegan companies. That was the whole point of the show. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really have like a vegan cheese that I love. Like I used to love cheese. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that too. Yeah, so I made my own vegan cheese line. That's how Nafsika's Garden came up.
I actually thought that you had Nafsika's Garden, the brand, before you got into the show, right? And that was like a business that you already had going. That's what a lot of people think, because it's just kind of what you'd think would be the natural evolution.
Exactly. I went backwards. I started with a TV show.
That's amazing. That's
and then incredible. I went, you know what? Because with Nafsika's Garden, actually only launched in Canada, November 2018. 2019, I was across the States. So that's it. So it hasn't been that long.
It's new. Okay.
It's very new.
That does make sense because when I first went vegan, I don't remember seeing it. And then
No,
all of a
I
sudden,
wasn't around.
it just
No.
popped up in these stores
All
I
of a
would go
sudden-
to. And I would see like the poutine cheese
Yeah.
or the pizza cheese or just like all the different ones, which we'll talk about, which
Right.
is definitely something I want to get into so that all of our viewers can really know about all the amazing different types of cheeses that you offer, because as we all know, when talking to people about going vegan, what's one of the main things they'll say? It's not even I can't give up meat or eggs.
I'm going to miss my cheese.
I can't give up cheese. That's what so many people say.
This is exactly the reason why I decided to go with the vegan cheese.
Yes.
I'm like, if I'm going to help people go vegan, this is it. This is how it's going to help
It's like the missing link.
Exactly, the missing link.
That.
I'm like, if I can get them to switch to a vegan cheese, then we're set.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so tell me, because I know there's so many and I can't remember all of them, but you have quite a few variations of cheese.
I have
so
a
like
really-
cheddars and Swisses.
Yes.
So why don't you let people know what
Sure.
they can get when they're shopping for at Nafsika's Garden Cheese?
Okay.
What can they get with
So I got like a huge variety because I think it's important, to help everyone get their preference and everything.
Yeah.
So I started right away with a lot of different things. And poutine, I don't know if it was out. I don't think it was out before. I don't know if other companies have it now, but I definitely worked with my producer in Greece, by the way, where it's made in Greece in Crete, the island of Crete. And
all your production is out?
Yeah,
out
it's
there?
all made in Crete. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So cool.
So I worked with my producer there to come up with a poutine, and we wanted to make it everything allergen free. So there's no soy, there's no dairy, of course, there's no nuts, there's no gluten, there's no peas either, because I know a lot of people have a pea allergy, and no lentils, there's a lot of different allergens out there. So we kind of cover everything.
The main ones. So you can be as
all the main
inclusive.
ones and a little bit of the other extras
great,
also.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to be inclusive, right? You want to, for people who have these different situations, to
there's
not have to
restrictions.
worry about that.
Yeah, and there's dietary restrictions and there's allergies and there's all kinds of things. So I think we cover the bases with this. And of course, the taste. You have to get the taste, right?
So taste and texture.
Taste and texture, yes. You got to make sure it melts the way you want it.
That's right.
And we have different varieties. We have higher melt cheese as well.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll just tell you. So we got my cheddar, Swiss. My favorite is Swiss. Smoked Gouda, mozzarella. We have it in all of these. We have them in shreds as well.
Okay, shreds and slices.
Yeah, a lot of them we have block shreds and slices.
Wow.
And we got the feta. You know the feta,
The feta,
in brine.
That feta, by the way.
The feta is
to our
Betta.
viewers out there.
Yep.
Feta is the one.
My feta is Betta.
Feta is
So we have that,
Yeah.
and of course, I just came out with cream cheese.
Yes,
So
which I've
you
tried.
it. Mm-hmm.
But by the way, which is a really funny story, which I think I want to tell the viewers a little bit
Yeah.
about. So we actually connected, I think, really like about 3 months ago. I'd seen your products and been using your products for a while, but I think we connected online about 3 months ago. And that's when you had sent me over a package of all your amazing cheeses. And unfortunately, it was the same day that I received the package was the day that I decided to go on a raw vegan diet.
Right.
For 7
And
days.
you were crying, I can't eat this.
I was just filming it all. My friends were eating it all. And I had like
I
a
know.
tear in my eye the whole time. Because I was like, how did I start this raw vegan challenge? Because I'd been eating so much comfort food over the last few months. And I was like, going into the new year, a little cleanse,
Need
a little
cleanse,
break from the pizzas
detox.
and the burgers and the grilled cheese sandwiches and all that fun stuff. So it was very sad for me that I had all
But
of
I got you more
cheeses.
today.
You did bring a package
brought
today.
some.
So that's why I'm smiling ear to ear right now. Because I know as soon as we're done filming, I'm about to take some of that cheese and have some fun with it. But yeah, funny story about that. So you were saying about all the different styles. So you were saying all
And we have, of course, we have a lot of new products coming.
Yeah.
So I would subscribe to my website for sure because we have new products coming out, which I'm not going to disclose right now, but just stay out for it.
That's right.
Definitely. I think I covered all the main ones.
Yeah. And these cheeses are available in many different grocery stores nationwide. Is that correct? All over Canada. Are you in the US yet? Or?
Oh yeah.
you're in the
So
US.
when I let's see, we went to National 2019 here in Canada.
Okay.
And less than a year later, we went national in the US.
Okay.
So we've been there for a year now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And in which stores because we have a lot of people from the United States who do tune into the show. So are they in Whole Foods? Because that's usually not Whole Foods.
Unfortunately, not Whole Foods, but a lot of others. The best thing to do is go on my site and check out the store locator that I have and enter your zip code and see, because it's kind of hard for me to say exactly which stores, because I deal with my distributor and they take care of all that.
I got you.
So, but we launched internationally as well. We launched in different countries overseas.
Beautiful. Which ones would those be?
Let's see. I started with Spain. Mm-hmm. Then we went Netherlands, Malta, France, Italy, Dubai.
That is amazing.
Sweden is coming up. So every month or two, I have another one coming.
That is an amazing story.
So it's kind of growing fast.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of competition out there. Obviously, lots of vegan cheeses out there. And now, this year, it's crazy.
They're all just exploding.
Oh my God, so many,
Which is an amazing thing for the vegan
amazing.
movement.
Yeah. So many coming out. So you're kind of in, competition with so many, but it's all good. It's all good. Because you know what? Everyone's going vegan, plant-based. It's amazing.
Exactly.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
And competition usually means a sign of a booming business.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's kind of moving in that direction now. Consumers, businesses. I think a lot of the non-vegan even companies are also starting to have a vegan line.
Oh yeah, that's the amazing thing about it. There's a lot of companies definitely that aren't vegan at all, and they're having a vegan option, a vegan line, which is amazing. I know there's a lot of people that'll say, "Oh, I won't support this company because it's not exclusively fully vegan," but I still like to see as progress. Yeah, I don't want to knock them down. I think they're trying. I think even though in some cases they might be just following the money, but it doesn't matter because in the end, we're getting more vegan options out there.
100%, I agree. And I think a great example of that is Ben and Jerry's. They now have, not to do with cheese, but to do with dairy. Yeah. And they now have 17 vegan flavors that they're offering to their fans and their clients. But it also brings up the question, and I don't know, I'll ask you your opinion on this. It's clear to them that they don't need dairy in their ice cream. If they can make 17 flavors, and these flavors are obviously loved and celebrated by all vegans, of course they're going to go where the money is, which is catering to their non-vegan, clients and stuff like that. But I think it's important that as we move towards a vegan world and we try to, phase out the dairy industry, that some type of pressures should be put on companies like Ben and Jerry's, who it's not like you're going to a company that has no vegan options and saying, hey, change your whole company right now. This is, we're going to a company that says, hey, you've worked with these 17 flavors. They're all doing well. We're talking sustainability. We're talking ethics. We're talking health. How can we get a company as big as Ben and Jerry's to really start phasing out the dairy and just making them a vegan company?
I say get out there and just email them. Email every company. They listen. We all listen. If we're getting inquiries from customers asking for certain things, we're going to listen.
That's right.
I
agree. I think one of the ideas that I had, and I'm an activist as well, so I do a lot of activism, and I want to move now more towards online activism, because there's so much power of getting the people together and sharing content, and it can really be done quick. But I think even just going to their page on, let's say, Instagram, and I looked at their page and I saw they had 250 comments on one of their vegan posts. But if we bring 250 vegan accounts over there and we all start flooding them with comments, that's going to put some pressure on.
Probably, that'd be a great strategy if everyone got together and said, okay, this week we're going to hit this company.
100%. That's actually things that I'm in the midst of starting to organize with some other activists and stuff.
Okay.
Is these campaigns where you go and you put a little bit of pressure, but very kindly.
Mild. Yeah. Don't go attacking.
Don't go attack.
I don't like that kind of strategy with mocking or being negative. I don't like that.
I understand.
I don't agree with that. Because it scares them off, and also it's not positive.
Yeah, 100%.
You want to stay positive.
I agree with that. For the most part, I would say there are certain instances where I've seen different approaches get results. So an example I'll bring up is Kim Kardashian, and she used to wear a lot of fur.
Right.
Now, of course, the fur industry is one of the most cruelest and, very sad industry. But one of the tactics that activists will use is with fur shaming is
there's
disruptions, yelling, that's right. Saying negative things. Then it gets on TMZ. And next thing you know, Kim Kardashian is not wearing fur anymore.
All the power
her
to them.
sisters are, but she isn't. So it's we don't want to give off this like negative kind of.
I think there has to be a balance, though. You know,
Yeah,
you
100%.
can't be constantly
No,
attacking
not
people
constantly, but
because then they make fun of us after. And,
yes,
right.
People end up hating vegans too. So
right.
It's
because
we have to find the
I
in-between.
guarantee you that some people don't want to go vegan just like in spite.
100%.
You know.
Yeah.
So you don't want to.
There's a lot of that right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're into the whole TikTok kind of craze and what's going on there. I don't know if you heard of the vegan teacher who.
Oh yeah.
So she's picked up 2 million followers on TikTok. And supposedly she's converted a lot of people to veganism through her TikTok posts.
I know her.
but she has a lot of haters.
Oh, yes, I've seen it. I was like,
mostly
whoa,
trolls.
what's going on?
And it's almost like those people are for sure now never going to go vegan because they actually hate vegans so much, you know?
Right.
So it's like, is all activism good activism, you know? So
no, I think you need to have a balance.
A balanced approach, yeah.
Yeah, you can't go attacking everyone. Like, choose your battles, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's tough, and that's what we're out here trying to do, right? We're trying to raise awareness through first. I think it all starts with food, you know, when it comes to veganism.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because although a lot of people will like buy cruelty-free makeup or shampoos or products that are more sustainable for the planet before they fully change their diet, but I think for the average person, really the mindset change starts with what you consume every day, and when you made that connection that the foods that you're eating are contributing to suffering and exploitation and abuse of defenseless animals, then you'll realize, well, hey, my shampoo, my deodorant, my stuff that I clean my kitchen with, like none of those products should come from any type of cruelty and suffering.
And these are the things I talk about in my show, actually, because the main component of the show is about food, right? But we touch all aspects of a plant-based lifestyle, things that you don't realize, you know, like this interior design, there's obviously fashion, there's cosmetics, huge, you know,
huge.
You had no idea, you know, what was in there. Like you would see a picture of like a fruit and you think, oh, it's plant-based or fruit, you know, there's real fruit. And it's like, no fruit in there. So
no fruit and tested on animals, a lot of chemicals. So there's so much. There's always the health, there's the ethics and the sustainability of everything that we do. And I think that's where people can start to really make that connection now with all the information that's available.
And it's really working because now I find even a lot of non-vegans are looking out for this. They're paying attention now. They're like, you know what? It's cruelty free. I love it. This cosmetic, you know, thing.
Exactly.
This company is cruelty free. It's vegan, and they're happy to say it too. Now, you know, they're getting like, oh, it's vegan. You know,
exactly. A lot of people like to throw the.
They like to
term
throw
around.
it. You know, now it's becoming the trend, right?
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah, that's a good thing for sure.
You know.
But I think the unfortunate thing with that is when it comes to their taste buds and when it comes to their eating habits, people will then, I don't want to say the selfishness takes over, but they're like, oh, you know, I love seafood.
But bacon.
Yeah.
Hate that.
The bacon trolls are the worst. But for some reason, when it comes to food, I guess food is very emotional for a lot of people.
Yes, of
and
course.
they can't seem to think about the fact of what would they do without this or without that. But there is so many alternatives now that are making it easier. It's making it more possible to at least, you know, I don't really advocate for baby steps because I think once you've learned about what's happening in these industries, like you turned vegan overnight, I turned vegan overnight.
I became an activist overnight, you know? I mean, that's what happens when you go vegan for the moral reasons. That's what happens.
100%.
You know? A lot of people are going vegan for health reasons, and that's why it takes a little longer.
Yeah.
But the moment you kind of really clicks with you what's happening and why you're making the switch, it happens faster.
That's right. And that's when you know it's a lifelong commitment.
Yes, I ain't going back. It's a lifelong, you know?
never going back.
Oh my God.
And funny enough, I actually went plant-based for health.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it started off as a health journey for myself, strictly. And I remember I was very insecure because all my guy friends were like, oh, Donny's a vegan now, you know, he's a pussy. Like, I don't, you know, that's hard to say, but like, he's soft, you know, like, and I was like, no, guys, I'm not doing it for the animals. I'm doing it for my health, you know, like, because I was so like brainwashed by society and by masculinity. I feel so like upset at myself that I was that shallow as a person because I know I was actually born and raised vegetarian and I was taught about compassion for animals. Unfortunately, I lost that at the age of 13 and went on to consume animal products for the better part of my life.
Yeah.
But when I did start off into the plant-based health journey, it was really kind of for myself and personal health. And then once I started learning more, I started making the connection. And I watched one documentary called Dominion. I don't know
God.
if you've watched it, I'm sure you've heard of it.
I've heard of it. And I actually can't bring myself to watch it.
No, yeah.
Because I've seen clips.
Yeah. It was what turned me into an activist instantly.
Right.
Because I was like plant-based health coaching. That was like my thing. I was like super fit, doing all these cleanses, raw foods, juicing. I thought that was my calling. I'm like, what? I lost 50 pounds. I'm in the best shape of my life. I have so much energy. But I watched Dominion, and then I just went down that rabbit hole, and I became an activist. And that's where my heart is now, is to raise awareness. And it's for animals and it's for people, because there's a lot of people being exploited in these industries as well. You know?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, think about the third world countries, you know, the grain that's being fed to the cows that we end up slaughtering.
Instead of feeding children.
Instead of feeding the children.
It's a major human rights issue.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at the places where the factory farms are, and all the waste that goes out into, you know, kind of like the air and into the waters and into the land, and then the people in those surrounding communities becoming very sick. So I think there's also a real big disconnect when people say, you know, veganism is just these like animal crazy people who are just crazy. You know, it's like, no, we want
like a cult.
We want people to not be dying from cancer and heart disease and diabetes.
Just don't bring harm to anyone else.
Don't bring harm to anyone else, to yourself, and help people. Like, people are suffering from obesity at ridiculous rates in the United States and in Canada and many places in the world. So we really just want a better world for everybody. And hopefully people will start to make that connection soon.
Definitely.
And you're helping doing that with your
and
cheeses and your show.
Actually, I didn't mention, but I have a book coming out.
Oh, okay.
In about a month or so. Well, I have 2 books coming out in a couple of months.
Yeah.
But one is called it's called the Plant-Based Switch. So it's helping people make the plant-based switch.
That.
Okay. It's a weekly guide, and it has a daily menus, and of course my best recipes, my favorite recipes. So it's like day-to-day helping people go vegan, plant-based vegan. So that's coming out soon, and
that's amazing.
Watch out for that.
I love that. How I wanted to ask you a question. How did your family take it?
Oh yeah, family.
You know, you're of the Greek from the Greek.
I'm Greek,
background,
yeah.
right?
So it's funny because Greeks are it's a Mediterranean diet, right? It's actually a plant-based diet, okay?
Predominantly plant-based.
Yeah, right. And back in the day, they would have meat, you know, only once a month or something, once or twice a month, you know. They would have their goat cheese, you know, on the side. But it was a Mediterranean diet, so we were already living a plant-based lifestyle all my life. Like, we had meat once or twice a week. That's it. Okay, so there's a lot of Greek foods that are plant-based. But the moment I went vegan, it's like, whoa, what are you doing? You're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like,
Where are you going to get your protein from?
Where are you going to get your protein from? I'm like, the plants. That's where the animals get it from. Exactly. So I'm going to just go straight to the source, you know?
That's right.
But it was, you know, it was basically, a little bit of transition. It took a few years for my family really to kind of get on board. Like, the beginning, they were worried. And then I would go to the doctor. I would do my annual checkup, and I'm like, okay, that's my dad. Show me your test results. Let's compare with mine. He's like, oh shit. Okay, I think you're right.
Exactly.
So then at that point they're like, okay, all right, we're on.
That's good.
So
That's
amazing.
Then
my mom actually started baking. Preparing and cooking lots of more plant-based vegan stuff. So my favorite recipes growing up, Greek recipes, like the pastitso. It's like you know what pastitso is?
Shout out to our producer.
Our Greek producer here.
Veg,
it's a pasta with meat sauce and cheese and everything. She made it completely vegan, plant-based, you know, it was amazing. I'm like, oh my God, with my cheese, of course. Yeah. So it was like, wow, you can have whatever you want.
That's right.
You can just veganize it and convert it.
Exactly.
So, look, is it going to be exactly the same? I mean, maybe not. But is that a bad thing? No, you're not going to, you know what? You're not going to be congested after. You're not going to feel get inflammation. You're going to feel light. You're going to feel great. Yeah. So basically took a little while, but everybody kind of got on board, you know, and they feel better and they eat more plant-based meals.
That's good. That's amazing. Yeah. How about friends and stuff? What was your friends' reaction?
All my friends, well, you know, they're vegan when they're with me.
That's right. Yeah. And our friends know the rule. Our non-vegan friends know the rule. If you come hang out with us, you're vegan while you're with us. That's it.
You know,
if not,
don't come here with any
no.
But you know, we love Indian food. Actually, me and my friends, so we'll have a lot of Indian and gobi and everything. Yeah. But and they'll be so proud when they'll say, "Oh, today I made, you know, whatever, I made this thing with your cheese or with, you know, the vegan meatballs you told me about." Yeah. So they'll be very proud of that. So they'll tell me about it, and I'm like, give it to your kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it now. Get your kids to eat it now.
And take the poison away from them from dairy, because
you
dairy
know?
is actually
Like,
really bad for health, right?
It's so bad.
It's
so bad.
yeah.
Like switch it now. Not that they're young, you know, because their palates will change. They'll adapt, and they'll, you know, they won't notice it after a while. And then, you know, it's obviously healthier for them. So when they're kids, it's easier. Like my kids were vegan from birth, basically. I was lucky, you know.
Love that.
So and they're totally vegan. My little one, he's like passionate vegan.
How old
like
is your eldest son?
My little one is 7 and the older one is 10. And
little
he's
vegan
like
activists?
He's like an activist, a little
We need to get them on the show.
yeah, we should get them on the show.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care what people think, and he'll be like, no, I don't eat animals.
He's like, do you know who my mom is?
So yeah, my 2 little vegans, but
That's so
yeah,
good. That's amazing. That's so good to know. And what do you kind of foresee right now with your show? You said there was a little bit of a delay due to COVID and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. So we filmed, last time we filmed was the summer of 2019. So the show ran till like 2020, and that was it. Like basically, I haven't traveled down to New York to film. I was going to film actually across like the world. We were going to do some episodes in different countries to show veganism everywhere, you know.
That's beautiful.
But then, you know, with the COVID, it was very hard and not very safe going anywhere right now. So kind of waiting a little bit to see what happens. I was hoping I could start filming now for the spring, but it looks like it's still lingering, this thing.
Yeah.
So until it really becomes safe, where I kind of put it on hold for a little bit. I'm focusing on my Nafsika's Garden, my cheese, and of course my books I'm coming out with.
That's amazing. That's really great. And it's funny, I was you were saying something before about how like Greek food was predominantly plant-based, or Mediterranean food is predominantly plant-based. And the more that I think about it, I think that's the case for most cultures. When you look at the foods that they eat, everything's predominantly plant-based.
Yes.
But of course, they always think they need to add in like, you know, the animal-based proteins or meat options. I don't like eating any of those words, to be honest. But I'll just say like dead animals is the real word that I want to say, because that's what it is. It's a dead animal. But
they just throw meat in everything these days.
Like
buddy, you had like meat twice today. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And
you know?
there's people that eat meat every day, like 3 times a day. You know, they'll have their sandwich with sausage sandwich in the morning. Then they'll have their chicken at lunch. Yeah. And they go, but I had chicken. It's light. No, it's not the same thing.
No, exactly.
It's actually bad for you.
It's crazy.
And because they produce so many chickens, you know, for this reason, they're pumped with
antibiotics,
hormones and everything. So you're not only having meat, but you're having all this other crap.
That's right.
You know,
and then you look at the conditions of the factory farms, which is where 95% of these products come from, and you look at the disease, you look at the feces that they're living in, you look at the conditions, and it is horrific. This is like, you know, the worst of the worst that I've ever seen. And
vegans are literally saving the world, the planet, you know.
That's right. Yeah,
so many ways
we are trying to. But we need to do a lot of work, because we are. I think I'm hearing maybe now closer to 5 to 8% of the population are, you know, vegetarian / vegan. So we have a long
we're still the minority, but I think in about 5 years we're going to see a huge shift. Like it's been happening, obviously.
Yeah.
When I started the show, 2016, I was calling it the year of the vegan, but then the year after that was the year of the vegan, and then I'm like, oh no, 2019 is the year. It just got better and better, and just like more and more vegans, you know,
more restaurants, more plant-based alternatives inside the grocery stores.
Oh yeah,
more information being
and
spread
all
out there,
the mainstream markets, all the mainstream restaurants are all jumping on board, you know.
Yes.
So I mean, even McDonald's is coming out with
the McPlant.
Or is it called the PLT?
I saw something called the McPlant, and I just started laughing. So
I think they called it a PLT also. I found it somewhere. I saw it somewhere. But
it's, you know what, we need them. And
can you imagine? Like, even though like there's like I said before, a lot of people will mock it and say, no, I'm not going to support it. But think about what a difference that'll make. Even like if they sell that plant-based burger around the world, like what a difference it would make to the planet.
100%. Well, just the platform that McDonald's itself gives to vegan options, because people who go to McDonald's probably don't even have a clue about what vegan options are, or vegans. They just like so lost in
I'm eating
society. They don't know. So just, and that's what I even said about like KFC offering a vegan option not only is it good for so that people can, pick up food for their families and like their friends and, go out and have a vegan option when they go there. But I think just giving it the exposure that these things exist, this is what's needed. And I hate it as a vegan and as an activist to support a place like KFC, but I believe it is important that if we ever want a vegan world, this needs to be mainstream.
It's not so much for us; it's for the for the non-vegans right now. Like let them eat that and try that and see, like, you know what? Okay, it actually tastes pretty good. Let them try that. We can still eat our plant-based stuff and
100%.
Let them try it, and then you know what? They'll come over.
I agree, 100%.
That's the plan. That's what I'm working
100%.
on.
So, top 5 favorite vegan meals. Putting you on the spot.
Oh God! Why did you do
this came out of nowhere, right? You're just like, we're just having a conversation. I'm
Man.
like, let's go. Time to let people know
what I make, or
let's say a mix of what you make or what you like to order, or you can kind of just talk about a little bit of your favorite things that you like.
I don't know what order. It really depends what I'm feeling that day. One of them is definitely an Indian dish, that's for sure.
Okay. Is this homemade or is this what you like to order out?
Oh no, I order at Spice Bros. Oh my God.
So let's talk about ordering out. When you order out, let's talk about what are your favorite not restaurants to go to per se, but just like the meals that you get from certain vegan restaurants that you like.
Yeah, I like. I mean, there's a lot of Indian places near my house in the West Island.
Yes.
So, I mean, I love aloo gobi, right? So there's I love cauliflower. I'm obsessed with cauliflower.
Cauliflower
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say the top meal right now that I make at home and that I also eat out is a cauliflower dish. So I instead of frying them, I roast them, and they're so good. It's going to be on my website soon.
Okay.
And check it out, and in my book.
Yes.
But I basically I just, it's so easy. I cut up a big head of cauliflower, and I just pour chickpea flour all over it, and like a little turmeric and sea salt, pepper, and a little garlic powder, and olive oil.
Olive oil, of course.
Okay, obviously that's my base. And then I put it in the oven. I don't think about it for half an hour,
30,
and it's
40. It's delightful.
delicious.
So
It's
the
my number
chickpea
one.
flour gives it the little bit of crunchy, crispy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a breading a little bit.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be battered in with a plant-based milk or
So
anything.
at first I used to batter it and make it all whatever, and then it got all sticky, and then I'd be getting off the spoon,
the process
trying to put it everywhere, and it's all over my hands. And then I'm like, you know what? This is so much easier. I love cutting corners. If you check out my book, you're gonna see I love cutting corners.
Yeah.
So I'll do whatever's easier. But actually the taste is the same.
Okay.
So I'm like, why am I gonna break my head and make the paste?
Yeah. Because I love crunchy cauliflower too, and I'm too lazy to. I'm like the laziest chef ever.
I'm gonna send you the recipe. It's so good. So
I already made a mental note of it. I'm like chickpea flour, salt, pepper, olive oil.
Yes.
30 minutes, 350 degrees.
400.
Okay.
Yeah, we like it crispy.
Perfect.
So put it on parchment paper so it doesn't.
Okay.
But that's my number one, I would say right now. And then I love making, because I used to love a Euro pita, right?
Yes.
I stuff it up with stuff. Actually, 57 vegan.
Yeah.
They had my best pita ever, my favorite pita. But they don't make it anymore.
Okay.
And I gave them hell for that.
We'll have to talk to Tamar.
Tamar,
talk to get that back on the menu.
CC about that. They had this thing, and I make it at home now. Shame on you, but it's a pita with French fries in there, and what do you call it? What's the purple thing?
Cabbage.
No,
the
turnip,
yeah.
And coleslaw and garlic sauce and ketchup. Wrap it up. Wow. It's so good.
I love that.
That's
Are you using anything for the plant-based meats
No, that one doesn't have any meat. Oh my God,
yumminess?
that's just stuff, and you think you're eating
By the way, how funny is it that real vegans, they just take 13 ingredients of everything. They're like, saute this, that, put it all together. We're like, this is the best meal I've ever had in my life.
Oh my God, yeah. No, but I would tell my friends, my non-vegan friends, come, let's go. And they loved it, so I make it home now. But that would be my number 2, I would say. But then there's the Greek stuff I love to make.
Of course.
So many. I love also meatball. I do this very easy thing where I buy vegan meatballs from the store, and I put tomato sauce, like a seasoned tomato sauce over, and then my Parmesan cheese, all over the place, and then bake it at 400 for 45 minutes. And it comes out like a vegan chicken parmesan. No, sorry, that's chicken.
Yeah.
I got two different things. I got the meatballs and I got the chicken parmesan with my parmesan shreds.
Love that.
Those are in there too.
Love that.
Yeah,
I've made a
best.
lasagna with your cheese before, and it came out absolutely
What did
amazing.
you use? The mozzarella or
you know
Parmesan?
what? Whenever I'm making a dish, I just buy like 3 of your cheeses, all the shreds.
Oh,
just mix them and I just throw them all in there.
Like I mentioned to you, it's going to be a lot easier for you now because
Yeah.
I got mixed shreds coming out. So that's going to be in the stores in about a month or 2.
Love that.
So yeah, that's going to be easy because I love mixing also. I would do the pizza shreds with the mozzarella and the Parmesan.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's coming out.
When I first started learning how to make vegan pizzas, I was using your cheese and it was like the best thing ever. And I was making it in like 8 minutes flat because I was just using using a little flatbread, throw on some tomato sauce, throw on like my veggies. I would like kind of marinate in a little bit of olive oil and spices, and then I'd add your cheese. And I was like, I remember at one point, it was when the pandemic first started last year, I was eating 5 of these pizzas a week. I was running through your cheeses. Like I was going to the store, I'd buy them and they'd be running out of stock. I'd be like, where's the Nafsika's pizza cheese? I need it.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be so popular, that one. It's actually like a really popular item. Yeah.
That's amazing. So in terms of, you said some new stuff that's coming out, some new products, but you're going to keep those under
I'm going
wraps.
to keep on the down low for a little bit because, they're watching.
They're watching, of course.
But
good competition, healthy competition. It's all good. But whatever. We love that. And plant-based by Nafsika, you're hoping to be back on the air. Could people find the recorded?
Well, I mean, everything is on YouTube, my YouTube channel. You can definitely check it out there. If you just go Nafsika Inc. or just Google plant-based by Nafsika and it'll come up right up.
On your website as well?
On my website as well.
So how many seasons was it that you?
3 seasons.
3 seasons. How many episodes?
6.
6 per season?
6 per season. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were going to film. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We might be filming this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
Would be season 4, but yeah.
That's amazing. So that was aired on A&E.
A&E Network.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So was there like other kind of shows talking about your show being the first vegan lifestyle series? Like, did it catch, or was it veganism not as popular back then? So that was kind of just like a smaller niche.
Well, there was a little talk about it. Yeah, there was a little. I actually, it's funny because when I first did the show, because it was my first show, I wasn't telling anybody about it.
Yeah.
I was like, see how it goes first, because the first season I was like, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Because it was also like
it was new to you. You didn't.
It was
really
new,
have
but also it
experience.
wasn't the concept that I wanted. It wasn't the vision I had. So season 2 got a little better. Season 3 is like, perfect. This is me now. This is what I visualize.
Okay.
And season 4 is going to be even better,
Love
so
that.
it evolved, But season 1, I don't even want people to see it.
Okay.
But
there's beauty in that because people can see where it
you
started.
can see the
and how it evolves and how it grows.
Yeah.
That's great.
And plus, I cut my hair that year. I don't know why. It was disgusting. But it's I mean, look, we'll see what goes on with this pandemic.
Yes.
Hopefully things will get semi back to normal.
That's right. And you were having guests, I'm assuming, on this show?
Yeah, I have different guests. I had doctors. It was very important for me to have doctors on there.
Yes.
To talk about all the deficiencies that everyone's worried about, the B12 and the protein and everything. And I have a little funny story about that. When I went to the doctor to do my test the first time when I went vegan, the first year I had gone vegan, they're like, you have too much B12. I'm like,
Really?
Yeah, I had too much B12 and your protein is good. Your iron is good. I actually used to be low iron before I went vegan.
Okay.
And now I'm perfect.
Okay.
So just to tell you.
That's good. And so you're feeling a lot of great health benefits. You said it's been about 7 years, right? Since you started your
it's 7
journey?
years now.
Yeah.
But I do want to, because the reason why I came up with the book though, is because a lot of people, when you go vegan, if you go vegan like very quickly overnight, like I did, you will feel a little bit like tired, and you will have some side effects a little bit.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay, yeah.
I did.
I think everyone's body's
everyone is
a bit
different.
Yeah.
Everyone's
I had
a little
the
different.
opposite. I had this insane amount of energy.
The first week?
The first 2 weeks,
amazing.
I was like, my friends are like, you on drugs or something? So I'm like, couldn't stop talking. They're like, yo, just chill out a little bit. I'm like, I can't. I have all this crazy energy. It was nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. I had like, it was up and down, So it's like, I felt like my body was stabilizing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like I wanted to write the the book, and it's on online course also. So you can follow it online. You have videos and audio and everything. You can download it and listen to it on your, iPods and everything. But it was important to help people go vegan to transition smoothly.
Yes.
Because this way it's safe for everyone, people are not, because here's the thing, a lot of people, and you see a lot of celebrities go out there and like, oh, I went vegan and I feel like I'm dying. You're right.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, you're not dying. It's because your body's adjusting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going
a
through
detox
withdrawals.
too. Detox from all the chemicals, all the toxins, stuff that your body was used to consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you more of a I guess you're more of a whole foods vegan than like a kind of a junk food vegan like I am?
No, I'm a little bit of both. I'm not gonna lie. I love my junk food.
Yeah.
So like with the pitas and everything.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I don't we eat plant-based obviously every day, and I buy the fresh ingredients and the broccoli and the cauliflower and everything. But occasionally I like to have my vegan burger.
Yes.
My vegan chicken.
Yeah. Do you make them from scratch, or do you just buy the brands?
No, I buy the brand.
You don't have
I tried it. I've done it, but then, you need like things to make it stick.
Yeah.
So I've tried different things and I'm like, I'll just buy it.
Yeah.
Break my head.
Because the beauty of it is though, because when I was like, during the pandemic, I was experimenting a lot with cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
You want to have a food processor as a vegan. That is like your key to life, because then you can just kind of like put everything into that food processor, put something that binds it together, and now you're making your own veggie patties, you're making your own veggie meatballs. You're kind of like, there's so many things you can do with a food processor and making stuff from scratch. So I think what's amazing is that any meal that you like, yes, you can go buy the processed version in the grocery store, the frozen or whatever, but you can just make anything you want from scratch.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful.
But the other thing is, if you want to buy a vegan meat, you can totally like enhance it. So like for my son, he loves his pasta and meat sauce. So I'll get the vegan meat, but I'm throwing in all kinds of stuff
Spices.
in there.
Oh yeah. You got to enhance.
I'm grating carrots in there and zucchini and celery and like garlic and then spices and everything. Like, you're not just having the meat and say, here you go. No.
You still got to know how to cook.
Yeah, you have to know. You have to know a little bit.
Seasoning is everything, people.
Yeah.
And season your plants with more plants.
Right.
Simple as that. Well, it's been an absolute honor having you on the show today. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Again, owner and founder of Nafsika's Garden and the host and producer of Plant-Based by Nafsika. And you have a book coming out. Make the Plant-Based Switch. It's coming out soon, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate the opportunity. I'm looking forward to season eating 4 and I was about to say I'm looking forward to eating all those cheeses you brought me. Oh my god! I'm looking forward to season 4 of your I actually have to catch up on the first few seasons. I haven't had the chance to, but now skip season 1. Skip season 1. Okay, skip season 1 and looking forward to those amazing vegan cheeses. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much. And to all our viewers, it was a pleasure. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Rise Kombucha, for sponsoring this amazing episode.